Hello friends, once again a very good evening to all of you, and my most humble prayers to the God for the well-being of all of you, happiness, and a satisfying life. Of all the many topics and many variations as present in Vedas and Vedanta, a few days ago somebody suggested me to speak on Guru, which I myself was interested basically. I often call the Guru should be Brahmadarshi. In my earlier lectures I have used this term quite a few number of times. The Guru should be Brahmadarshi. Now consider a normal person walking on the road. So his body is very much visible, the clothes he is wearing is very much visible. But whether his mind has attained the capability to experience the Brahma? Actually not. So when you are trying to find the master, choosing the master right at the outset, it becomes very difficult to find out who is Brahmadarshi or who is what. But if your sadhana in your earlier lives has taken you to that extent of refinement of your consciousness, of refinement of your intellect, sometimes you immediately come to know that, oh, he is my master and I was searching for him. Like some people say, love at the first sight, and immediately it clicks to the mind that yes, this is where I wanted to come from. The very word Sadguru is having two words in it. One is Gu and another is Ru, which symbolically means Gu is meant for the gloom in your mind, and Ru is meant for the enlightenment of your mind. One who takes you away from the gloom and the darkness, an area of darkness, as V.S. Nepal wrote, to a world of wisdom and light and enlightenment. This is the basic meaning of word Guru. When you meet for the first time to your Guru, you find him in the body, and those who are not fortunate enough to recognize that he is the master may get confused. Incidentally, and by the grace of my loving parents and by the grace of God, I was able to recognize in the first sight that yes, he is my Guru. So when you meet him, you still find him as a body. This is Sagun, body is Sagun. So the meaning of the word Sagun is one who is having attributes. And meaning of the word Nirguna means that somebody something, some entity who does not have any attributes. There it becomes pure conscious. And if it has attributes, then it becomes inertial. And of course, partially conscious. Everything in the world is partially conscious. Only the God within your heart is supreme conscious. Next step is that if you like someone as master, like Swami Vivekananda used to like Bhagwan Ramakrishna Paramahansa a lot, and whatever Bhagwan Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say, Swami Vivekananda used to listen it very carefully. But don't immediately but never immediately started adhering and following it. So, and in one incident, Ramakrishna says also, when you come to me all the time and listen to me so many times, then why don't you take my advice that you initiate into sannyasa? To which Swami Vivekananda said that, oh my Lord, oh Shri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, I like your talks. They are very appealing. But I am not still prepared to leave my parents. So this is how far the mind has traveled in this case, you can see, because at this stage Swami Vivekananda was finding his guru to be saguna or attributes. Attributes like eyes, attributes like ear, hands and everything. Intellect, mind. And later on, it dawned upon Swami Vivekananda that Bhagwan Ramakrishna is my Guru, my Master, and he has seen the God. So, when we first meet the Guru, what is actually starts happening in our mind is very important to know. See, by birth, nobody's mind is in the full growth stage. Even if he is God, let us take the birth of Krishna, let us take the birth of Lord Rama. They were not fully conscious at the birth. In fact, for most of the time, Lord Rama never knew that he is the God. It may be astonishing to you people, but I later gathered it from my master. ईश्वर खुद ही नहीं जानता था कि वही ईश्वर. गॉस्पेल प्रीचिंग वगैरह तो दूर है. जब आप ही नहीं कंफर्म हो कि आप ईश्वर हो तो आप क्या गॉस्पेल प्रीच करोगे? तो दिस इज द ब्यूटी. We don't know who we are, and it is a beautiful stage of mind because it alarms us. And that can only happen by meeting somebody who has crossed these limits, who is our Guru. So as I said, everybody is not fully conscious by birth. And you may have seen different patients of trauma, different patients of other mental illness, and these experiences of extreme nature and to extremely painful experiences go on creating the blocked energy zones in the mind. In this regard, you should read the book I Am Okay, You Are Okay by Thomas Harris, and only that portion of it where the experiment has been conducted by Dr. Penfield on the cerebral cortex of a human being whose skull was open. So it is the cerebral cortex which actually contains the space of memory. But this space of memory, because of trauma and earlier experiences of extremism of various types, its many segments gets locked, to which I call locked energy zones, because they are not having any kind of positive energy and positive experience, and whenever you remember them you feel horrified or you want to avoid, and normally you become irreasonable in your behavior. So the beauty of the Indian religion lies in this. That is also called Shruti Marg, which was perpetrated by Lord Shiva. And the crux of the gist of the Shruti Marg is that whenever you get a Siddha person, the Guru who is Brahmadarshi, and just keep on remembering what he says. If you cannot do much, just sit down with him for some time and listen to him what he says, and try to remember as much as you can. Then you won't imagine what process starts and begins within your mind. These words of Sadguru starts germinating within your brain, and release the locked energy zones. It may take time for something. If the experience is too traumatic, then the locked energy zone corresponding to that experience would take some more time, some more meditation, but it will be definitely open, and whatever negative energy was locked there, that negative energy goes away. And similarly, if you keep on practicing, you automatically starts feeling and get all the evidences that large amount of energy is available in your mind in comparison to your earlier days when you didn't meet your master and didn't have a recourse to satsanga. In this country, I find something, I see many things. The country is religious by nature, and that is a great fortune for all of us, that it is basically a country which is fundamentally religious. But on my normal count, I find every person who is 60 or 65 at most by that time, or 70, has already attended some minimum of Indian average is minimum of 25 different satsangas. They come to know, oh, somebody has come over there, let us go. Then somebody else has come, let us go. They keep on listening. They never pick up the threads from those words said by the master, said by the Siddha Purusha, said by the Brahmadarshi. And nothing, no variation comes into their mental energy level, or vigor to live, or vigor to contribute, or vigor to love the people, and vigor to sacrifice your life to the people, thereby enjoying enormous happiness and satisfaction of life. So, satsanga is essentially meant for picking up the threads. And most of the time, the people who are speaking on board and in different stages at different places, they are not Brahmadarshi. Brahma Sakshatkar takes as a mother takes the pain of birth of a child. Similarly, the Brahma Sakshatkar creates pain of bearing all your negativities, of facing all your negativities, of removing all your negativities, the pain of evolution. Darwin could not think that far. So the pain of evolution. The pain of evolution ultimately releases your blocked energy zones, and then you find that you are very, very, very positive, and we are growing positive day by day. And this is called Shruti Marg. Listening to the words of a master, Shruti Marg comprises of 3 stages. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana. Shravan is listening to the word of master carefully and with full attention. Manan is trying to keep record and remember those words. And Nididhyasana, the stage when those words which have been implanted on your mind and brain start germinating, and you start your journey, and your minds start your journey towards becoming a Siddha, Nididhyasana. After Manan it happens, after you remember the words, they become established in your mind. The moment they become established in your mind, they start working like seeds. Those who grow and bear fruit. And the fruit is elimination of your negative energy zone, traumas and all that. Let me tell you one thing very frankly, that the medicine as of now, and particularly allopathy and other streams also, have never recognized the power of the words, which I presume in my own case I saw this, has got much more power than the allopathic medicines or other kind of medicines. That's why in the beginning I was talking about Om and chanting the Om, and I give a lot of stress on that. When your locked energy zones get released and are in the process of releasing more and more energy in a positive fashion, and whatever is negativity ultimately starts subsiding down. At that time, your mind and intellect starts leaving its grossness and they become finer and finer and finer day to day. The process then automatically takes you to the fact that you start falling in love with Guru, you start falling in the phase when you are curious what your Guru says, Sadguru. When you listen to him, you try to remember him. Ultimately, it is a kind of devotion that germinates, that takes birth in the mind for that great master who, by simply speaking things, has eased you up, relieved you up, released your negativity. Then you fall in love. And when you fall in love with him, then on a great process appears. At that time, your mind has refined to such an extent that now, at any point of time, you can experience the Nirguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma means when your eyes are closed, you see the God in the form of a sun between both of your eyebrows. Those who are more fortunate and understand Nirguna, understand Dvait and Advait both, they also have the experience of sun in between the eyebrows and the Kali, a black magical spot which appears along with the image, the picture, the actual sun within your mind. Please don't ask for more clarification on this because this is an extremely secretive process, extremely secretive experiment, and an extremely secretive experience. And there is simply no experience at par with it. No Switzerland, no Britain, no America. What do they have? They are the well of death, Maut ka Kuan. Come to India and I'll make you immortal. So this is what Guru is meant. From taking you to the inertial experience of worldly wise nature and remember, the body, the mind of all of us humans is basically spiritual. So as long as you are moving around, traveling in, living in, adjusting with the time and space, you will never be comfortable. And your pain of the mind will never die, and actually you are living a compromised kind of life as long as you are venturing only into time and space. You are compromised. How can you be happy? But when you listen to the satsanga of the master, the guru, the Brahmadarshi master, your negativity goes away, locked energy zones gets open. For that you may remember many kind of mantras also which appeal you, like one in the Sundarkand, Shantam Shashvata Prameya Managam Nirvana Shanti Pradam Brahma Shambhu Fanindra Seva Manisham Vedanta Vedyam Vibhum Ramakhyam Jagadeshwaram Surgurum Maya Manusyam Harim Vandeham Karunakaram Raghuvaram Bhopal Churamanim. In this shloka there is a clue to which I remarked earlier, that if the aliens do come to, and I believe they are very much here also, they won't assume the body as if they look different. They will assume the body of humans only. When you witness the Nirguna Brahma, then you come to realize that whenever you close your eyes, a white divine light always appears in front of you, and this is the reason why I always speak with my eyes closed, because I don't want any kind of distraction when I am explaining the great concepts of Vedas and Vedanta. And when that divine light every time appears on you, after some time, some practice starts talking to you, and then Believe me, the God is talking to you. So Guru is the signature of the God. Guru is the address of the God. And Guru is the God. I was listening to an interview on my website, on my laptop, a few days ago. It was connected to some program and music like Saregama and other things, and I used to like those songs, so I was listening to those songs, and there I find one program where a very renowned Swami was there on the right side of the anchor, and one Muslim gentleman and intellectual was on the left side of the anchor. And the talk pursued like this ki the Swami, who was on the right side and very well established, presented some arguments to which the person on the left side said, I don't believe in gurus. I immediately sensed. For that it's too much. I'll fall silent. Not a single word of criticism. I'll fall silent. All I'll have to say and to pray the Master that, oh Lord, you have given this fellow such a nice intellect. हे परमपिता, इस व्यक्ति को आपने इतनी सुंदर बुद्धि दी, लेकिन इसको सद्बुद्धि क्यों नहीं दी? Intellect with wisdom always ends up into Guru and finally goes up to the God. Intellect without wisdom never finds a Guru. Guru is the one who brings us, who meets us in a gross form, who meets us in inertial form, in form of the body, and ultimately takes you to that point where he is himself a Brahman. Himself is enlightened. Like in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Jnani to mera hi swarup hai Arjun. So, Guru is the God. And God is the Guru. And this luxury is only available and within the ambit of those people who practice and understand Vedanta and try to understand. Nobody says, I have seen God. I always say, then why are you wasting time? And so many people I found, what really gives me pain, people are spending tens of years with their gurus and they have not come to realization, to enlightenment. What to say? What for you wasting your time? And to those who have read the Darwin's theory of evolution, to all those persons I have to say that Darwin very rightfully saw a streak of evolution amongst the minds and particularly up to human mind. And he says it was the monkeys which were our predecessors. And I don't have to argue on that. The only thing is, what I want to aid is that Darwin could not imagine, and I am really surprised, if the evolution is possible, why not the devaluation is also possible? So you came from a monkey, you can again become the monkey if you are performing the acts like a monkey. The monkey business. So one who takes us from the gloom to the enlightenment is Guru. Tamso ma jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय असतोर्मा सद्गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। थैंक यू।